The big challenge we all face is how to become all that we can be. Now, some people might say, well, I'm fine just the way I am. But here's what I've learned. You can have more because you can become more. And unless you change how you are, you will always have what you've got. It's not about settling for less when you're capable of so much more. You know how good it feels to maximize your potential and stretch yourself to the limit, don't you? That's the feeling we're after, the feeling of growth, the feeling of progress. So today, I want to share with you 4 powerful words that can make living worthwhile. These words are simple, but their impact is profound. They can turn your life around if you let them. Here we go. Will hurt you. We've all heard the saying, ignorance is bliss. But let me tell you, ignorance is costly. It costs you time, it costs you money, and it costs you opportunity. You see, ignorance isn't bliss, it's an obstacle. The things you don't know can hold you back, prevent you from achieving your goals, and cause you to miss out on chances that could change your life. So the question becomes, what are you willing to learn to avoid those costs? Now, the good news is that learning is something we can all do. It doesn't matter where you start or what you know right now. What matters is your willingness to grow. So what do we need to do? We need to learn from our own experiences. Whether they're positive or negative, every experience holds a lesson. You ever notice how sometimes the most valuable lessons come from mistakes? That's what I like to call a positive negative. You do it wrong, you figure it out, and then you do it right. That's the beauty of learning from your own mistakes. It's the process of refining yourself, turning failures into stepping stones for success. But don't stop there. Learn from other people's experiences too. You see, you don't have to make every mistake yourself. Life is too short to learn everything the hard way. You can avoid a lot of pain and struggle by learning what not to do from others. Look at the people around you. Their successes, their failures, their stories. Each one of them has something valuable to teach. Some people have already walked the path you're on, and they've stumbled and fallen along the way. If you pay attention, you can learn from their mistakes and avoid making the same ones yourself. Now, wouldn't it be something if failures gave seminars? Think about it. Wouldn't it be valuable to sit down and hear from someone who had it all and lost it? Someone who made the wrong moves, made the wrong decisions, and faced the consequences? That's information we need. Successful people give seminars all the time, but imagine the lessons we'd get from those who lost everything. That's real-life education, learning without the pain of having to go through it yourself. Unfortunately, they don't tour around giving seminars, but we can still learn from their stories if we're willing to listen. So how do we learn? We learn by what we see, by what we hear, and by what we read. Pay attention. Keep your eyes open. There are lessons all around you if you're willing to look for them. Be a good listener. But here's the key. Be a selective listener. Don't just let anybody dump garbage into your mental factory. Choose carefully who you listen to. Some people will try to fill your mind with negativity, doubt, and fear. Others will fill it with hope, wisdom, and encouragement. Be selective. Guard your mind. And then there's reading. Never underestimate the power of a good book. Open a book, or 2, or 3. Reading opens doors to new worlds, new ideas, new possibilities. When you read, you're not just learning facts and figures, you're expanding your mind, broadening your horizons, and discovering new ways to think and live. The right book can change your life in ways you never expected. Learning is the beginning of everything. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Without the knowledge of how to create, manage, and grow wealth, you'll always struggle financially. Learning is the beginning of health. Understanding how to take care of your body, mind, and spirit is essential for living a long and vibrant life. Learning is the beginning of spirituality. The search for knowledge, for understanding, for deeper meaning in life. This is where the miracle process begins. Here's what happens when you commit to learning. You start to see the world differently. You begin to realize that every challenge, every setback, every failure is an opportunity to learn something new. Instead of avoiding mistakes, you start seeking out lessons. Instead of fearing the unknown, you start embracing it. And once you start learning, you'll find that you want to keep going. You want to keep growing. Life becomes an adventure, an exciting journey filled with discovery and growth. So, make learning a priority. Learn from your own experiences. Learn from the experiences of others. Learn from what you see, what you hear, what you read. Because life is worthwhile if you learn. And the more you learn, the more valuable your life becomes. Not just for you, but for everyone around you. 2. Life is worthwhile if you try. Learning is powerful. It is the foundation upon which all growth is built. But learning by itself is not enough. Knowledge without action leads to stagnation. You see, you can fill your mind with all the wisdom in the world, but if you don't apply it, it remains potential energy, unused and untapped. And this brings us to the second powerful word, try. Life is worthwhile if you try. It's in the trying that learning comes alive. It's in the effort, the action, the movement where transformation takes place. What does it mean to try? It means putting what you've learned into action. It means taking steps, small or big, to make progress, to create change, to make an impact. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right on the first attempt. But you do have to take action. You have to be willing to put yourself out there, to give it your best shot, and to see what happens. Because that's what trying is all about. It's about giving yourself a chance. But here's the problem. Too many people hesitate to try because they're afraid of failure. They're afraid of making mistakes. They're afraid of what others might think. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. Failure is a part of success. You can't avoid it, and more importantly, you shouldn't avoid it. You see, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey toward it. Every time you fail, you're one step closer to getting it right. The key is not to let failure stop you from trying again. You might not succeed on the first try, or the second, or even the 10th. But here's the thing. You've got to keep trying. How long should you try? Until. That's the answer. Keep trying until you succeed. Keep trying until you find the breakthrough. Keep trying until you get the result you're after. Because you never know how close you are to success until you keep going. It might be just one more try away. Now, I know it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned, when you've tried and it feels like you're not making progress. But let me tell you something. Every try counts. Every effort builds momentum. Even if you don't see the results right away, you're growing. You're learning. You're becoming stronger. Each time you try, you're building your resilience. You're developing your character. You're learning what works and what doesn't. And that's what makes life worthwhile, the effort, the progress, the growth. So why not go all out? Why not give it everything you've got? Why not try your best every time? Because here's the truth, you can do more than you think you can. There's potential inside you that you haven't even tapped into yet. But you'll never discover it if you don't try. You'll never know what you're capable of until you step out of your comfort zone and give it a shot. Maybe you're thinking, well, I'm not sure if I can succeed. Let me ask you this. How will you ever know Effort adds up over time, and before you know it, you've made more progress than you ever thought possible. Life is worthwhile if you try, if you're willing to put in the effort, to step into the unknown, and to keep going even when it's hard. Because in the trying, you build strength, you build character, and you build a life of meaning and purpose. So don't hold back, don't wait for the perfect moment. Start trying today and watch how your life begins to change. Seeds in the spring, but leaves in the summer. The crop isn't ready yet. It hasn't grown, it hasn't matured, but he's gone. He doesn't stay until harvest. You see, it's not enough to just plant the seeds. You have to nurture them. You have to tend to them, water them, weed around them, and stay until they grow into a bountiful harvest. That's the secret. You've got to stay from spring until harvest. You've got to see things through, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's your way, things you never expected or prepared for. There will be setbacks, there will be challenges. There will even be failures. But here's the thing. Don't quit in the middle. If you're going to quit, quit at the end. If you've given it your all, if you've stayed the course and it still doesn't work out, fine. But finish it. Complete the job. See it through to the end and then move on. Staying through the difficulties builds something far more valuable than just success. You're training yourself to be more disciplined, more focused, more resilient. And that's something no one can take away from you. And let's not forget character. Character is who you are when no one is watching. It's what you do when you have the choice to leave or stay. Do you abandon